She's the one the spinsters recommend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly if your eldest daughter needs a friend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts and she'll match him up. Call on
Dolly Levi. That's right, Mrs. Dolly Levi, born Gallagher. Social introductions. Ladies and gentlemen of excellent family, introduced under the most respectable conditions in an atmosphere of elegance and refinement. Object, matrimony. Unfortunately, I won't be able to offer my usual lightning service today, as I have a previous appointment in Yonkers, New York, arranging the second marriage of Mr. Horace Vandergelder, the well-known half-a-millionaire. As my late husband Ephraim Levi always said, means he's got at least 60,000 cash. But I will do my best to have you carried across somebody's threshold before the week is out. Now, I might also mention I'm available for financial consultation, instruction in the guitar and mandolin, short distance hauling, and varicose veins reduced.
Dolly. She's the one the spinsters recommend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly.
Mrs. Levi.
Ah, Mr. Kemper, the artist. You know, I am something of an artist myself. I do those silhouettes with scissors and black paper. Here is one of Ada Rehan looking the other way. I have to do them like that because I'm no good at noses.
Mrs. Levi, the train for Yonkers leaves in 5 minutes, and if we don't get there on time...
But we will, Mr. Kemper. And not only will Horace Vandergelder agree to let you marry his niece Ermengarde, but he will dance at your wedding. And not alone either. Because I happen to be engaged in finding him a suitable second wife himself. What he really wants is someone steady to clean the house. As my late husband Ephraim Levi always said, marriage is a bribe to make a housekeeper think she's a householder.
I know all about it, Mrs. Levi. Half of New York says he's going to propose to Mrs. Irene Malloy this very afternoon.
That's precisely why I'm on my way to Yonkers this morning, Mr. Kemper, and can take on your case and knock off 4 lovebirds with 1 stone, or whatever I'll throw, I'll see. Well, 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 what do you think of that? It appears I have nothing here to pay my train fare with. Only large bills, 5s and 7s.
I have some change here somewhere. I only hope this isn't a wild goose chase, Mrs. Levi.
Speaking of poultry, I'm also available for fresh Jersey eggs, surgical corsets reboned, ears pierced, and pierced ears replugged.
Mrs. Levi!
Just name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly.
Tell me, Mrs. Levi, what's in all this for you?
A living, Mr. Kemper. Some people paint, some sew. I meddle. I have always been a woman who arranges things for the pleasure and the profit it derives. I have always been a woman who arranges things like furniture and daffodils and lives. When a man with a timid tongue meets a girl with a diffident air, why should the tortured creatures beat around the bush when heaven knows Mother Nature always needs a little push? So I put my hand in here, I put my hand in there, and a girl over 6'3" loves a man who comes up to her ear. Surely it's obvious she'll never be seduced till some kind soul condescends to give her beau a little boost. So I put my hand in here, I put my hand in there. I have always been a woman who arranges things. It's my duty to assist the Lord above. I have always been a woman who arranges things like luncheon parties, poker games, and love. My aplomb at cosmetic art turned a frump to a trump lady fair. She had a countenance a little bit like Scrooge, but oh, today you would swear the Lord himself applied the rouge. I put my hand in here. Twist a little, stir a little, him a little, her a little, shape a little, mold a little. Some poor chap gets sold a little when I use my fist a little. Some young bride gets kissed a little. Pressure with the thumbs. Matrimony comes when I put my hand in there.
Mrs. Levi.
I know, Mr. Kemper, the Yonkers train is ready to leave. No, you go on ahead, buy our tickets, order lunch, get a window seat. I'll meet you on board. Ephraim Levi, I'm going to get married again. I'm going to marry Horace Vandergelder for his money and send it out circulating among the people like rainwater. The way you taught me. And I want a sign from you sometime today that you approve. It won't be a marriage in the sense we had one, but I shall certainly make him happy. And I'm tired, Ephraim. Tired of living from hand to mouth, so I want that sign.
Mrs. Levi?
Sometime today. Now don't you worry, Mr. Kemper. We'll make that train, we'll get to Yonkers, you'll marry Ermengarde. Just leave everything to me. For when my little pinky wiggles, some young maiden gets the giggles. Then I make my knuckles active. My you said she's so attractive. Then I use my index digit and they both begin to fidget. Then I clench my palm, preacher reads a psalm when I put my hand in there.
Damn, how can I be expected to play Yonkers, my Yonkers, with all that bellowing in my ears?
I can't help it, Uncle. I love Ambrose Kemper.
Oh, and I say you're too young to be in love with anybody. Here, take this.
I'm not too young. I'm 17. And in another year, I'll be an old maid.
Oh, well, I forbid it. Dare to be an old maid, Ermengarde, and I'll cut you off without a cent. And don't cry in the store.
Can't help it. I'm unhappy.
Oh, well then by thunder you can go and weep for a while in New York where it won't be noticed. Now go upstairs and start packing your trunk and don't get any tears on the lock. It was just oiled. Cornelius, Barnaby.
You stamped Mr. Vandergelder?
I did. I got news for you both. I'm going to New York this afternoon to march in the 14th Street Association Parade, and when I come back, you're going to have a mistress.
But I'm too young, Mr. Vandergelder.
No, not yours, hellum damnation, mine. I mean, I'm getting married again. And in honor of that occasion, I've decided to promote you, Cornelius, to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Vandergelder?
Oh, you're an impertinent fool, that's what you are. And I'm promoting you from impertinent fool to chief clerk. Any questions?
Yes.
What?
Does the chief clerk get 1 evening off a week?
Oh, so that's how you thank me for your promotion now, is it? No, sir, you'll attend to the store as usual. Then get back to work and don't forget to put the lid on the sheep dip. Evenings off, marrying artists, foolishness. You know, 99% of the people in this world are fools, and the rest of us are in great danger of contamination. Why? Even I was once young, which was foolish, and got married, which was foolish, and was poor, which was more foolish than anything else. And my wife died, which was foolish of her. And I grew older, which was sensible of me, and became rich, friendless, and mean, which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go. Oh, I know what you're thinking now. Why a man of such good sense would be planning anything as foolish as getting married again? Well, the answer's simple. This house, without a woman, would be an empty shell. And pretty dirty, too. It takes a woman all powdered and pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft-dressed-in fingers for dumping the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
The frail young maiden who's constantly there for washing and blueing and shoeing the mare. And it takes a female for setting the table and weaning the Guernsey and cleaning the stable.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. And so she'll work until infinity. 3 cheers for femininity. Rah, 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 F-E-M-I-T-Y.
F-E-M-I-T-Y. Oh, get out of here! And in the winter she'll shovel the ice and lovingly set out the traps for the mice. She's a joy and treasure for practically speaking. To whom can you turn when the plumbing is leaking?
To that dainty woman, that fragile woman, that sweetheart, that mistress, that wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman,
A husky woman!
to bring you the sweet things in life.
Oh yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
Congratulations, congratulations, 1,000 congratulations.
Oh, what? What?
Congratulations, Mr. Vandergelder. All New York is buzzing with the news that you've practically proposed to Irene Malloy. The streets are lined with eligible young ladies prostrate with grief. All my congratulations and sympathy.
Sympathy?
Did I say that? Slip of the tongue, that's all. No, I'm delighted by the happy news. After all, she wasn't easy to unload. And by that, I mean you know what people said, although I for one never believed the rumors. No, I didn't.
Rumors? What rumors?
Nothing to get upset about, Mr. Vandergelder. I mean, according to all known facts, her first husband passed on quite naturally. It's just that he went so sudden. A few spoonfuls of chowder made special for him, but it could happen to anyone. No, there's no truth to it. Just one word of advice, Mr. Vandergelder. Eat out.
Oh, now hold on, Mrs. Levi. You mean to say that Mrs. Malloy...
I mean to say nothing, Mr. Vandergelder. Just friendly advice. Keep away from the chowder. By the way, she's ordered her wedding gown. Beautiful. You should see it. Black. Anyhow, congratulations on your forthcoming nuptials, and may you rest in... may guardian angels watch over you both. Particularly at dinner.
Oh, now see here, Mrs. Levi. You introduced me to Mrs. Malloy, and rumors or not, I intend on calling her this afternoon as arranged.
Very well. Then I guess there's nothing more for me to do, Mr. Vandergelder, than go back to New York and tell the other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
What did you say?
Nothing. A word. Heiress.
Particulars, Mrs. Levi. I demand particulars. Her name?
Her name? Money. Ernestina Money.
Oh, what a lovely, lovely name.
Picture, if you will. Eyes as big and round as silver dollars. Hair as shiny as a newly minted dime. And skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
Oh, I can feel her now.
Age, 19. Weight, 102. Waist, 47.
Oh, waist 47.
That's with the money belt. Now, I could arrange for you to meet with this Ernestina this very afternoon.
No, I ain't got time, Mrs. Levi. I gotta bring Minnie Sermon Guard to New York this afternoon until she forgets a certain Emperor's chemical.
I could do that for you, Mr. Vandergelder. I know just how to handle such things.
Oh, well, then I'm marching in the 14th Street Parade.
What an amazing coincidence! Guess who's been chosen to ride on the main float? The spirit of 14th Street, Miss Money. Her mother was a cash, you know.
All right, Mrs. Levi. I'll meet Miss Money at the parade. But I still intend on paying another call on Mrs. Malloy first.
Oh dear, what races you make me run. Very well, Mr. Vandergelder. I'll meet you on that bench outside Miss Malloy's hat shop at 2:30 as usual.
And one more thing, Mrs. Levi. Suppose I decide against Miss Money, and I don't like Miss Malloy neither.
Well then, Mr. Vandergelder, I do happen to have one more name on my list. A name I know as well as my own. But let's not go into that now. It'll come up all by itself in good time. Oh, but wait till you see Ernestina, Horace. A vision. A dream. Yes, it takes a woman. Da 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 da. You know, Ephraim, I think I'll have that room done over in blue wallpaper. Yes, in blue. Ermengarde, Ambrose, we've got plans to make.
Chief clerk? Promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk? And maybe if I'm good, in 10 years, I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. 33 years old and I still haven't gotten evening free. When am I going to begin to live?
You can live on the holidays, Cornelius.
Do you remember what we did last Christmas? All those canned tomatoes went bad and exploded, and you and I cleaned up the mess all afternoon. Do you call that living?
No.
Barnaby, you and I are going to New York.
You mean like close the store?
Uh-huh.
Cornelius, we can't.
We'll have to. Some more rotten tomato cans are going to explode.
Holy cabooses, how do you know?
I'll light this candle under them, that's how I'll know. It'll make such a smell that customers won't be able to come into the place for 24 hours. That'll get us an evening off. We're going to New York, Barnaby, and we're gonna live. We're gonna have a good meal. We're gonna be in danger. We're gonna spend our money. We're gonna be arrested.
Holy cabooses.
And one more thing. We're not coming home until we've each kissed a girl.
Cornelius, we can't do that. You don't know any girls.
I'm 33 years old. I've got to begin sometime.
Well, I'm only 17. It isn't that urgent for me.
New York, Barnaby. Elevated trains. The lights of Broadway. The stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
Stuffed whale?
Stuffed whale, what do you say, Barnaby?
Yes, Cornelius, yes!
Now, the first thing is to make you financially independent. I know, I'll find you a job. Do you dance?
I'm an artist, Mrs. Levi. I paint.
Well, then, my card.
Mrs. Dolly Levi. Painters taught how to dance?
Now, there's a man at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant on 14th Street, Mr. Rudolph Reisenweber. I'll give you two a note for him and see if he can't have you entered in the polka contest tonight. The prize? A week's engagement and a solid gold cup. Oh, the cups we won, Ephraim and me.
Hold on, Mrs. Levi. No fiance of mine is gonna set foot in a cafe. And I don't mind saying I'm surprised you have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kemper. Friends. Dear friends from days gone by. My late husband Ephraim believed in life in any place you could find it. Cafes, ballrooms, yes, even theaters. I mean, even when times were bad, every Saturday night like clockwork, down those stairs of the Harmonia Gardens we came, Ephraim and me.
It's all very well to come down like clockwork, Mrs. Levi, but you're asking Ermengarde to work there.
It's the only way to show Horace Vandergelder we mean business. Now you two go to the Harmonia Gardens this afternoon and tell them Mrs. Levi sent you. And incidentally, tell Rudolph Dolly's coming back. And I want a table for two and a chicken for 8 o'clock tonight.
The bottom row looks all right, Cornelius. Now hold the candles onto the ones on top. Not too close. They're swelled up like they're ready to burst. Holy cabooses, Cornelius. I can smell it from up here.
Let's get dressed, Barnaby. We're going to New York. Out there's a world outside of Yonkers. Way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby. Out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out your brilliantine and dime cigars. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. Girls in white in a perfume night where the lights are bright as the stars. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town in one of those new horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the shows at Delmonico's and we'll close the town in a whirl. And we won't come home until we've kissed a girl.
Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Strut down the street and have your picture took. Just like a dream, your spirits seem to turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you look. Beneath your parasol, the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your feathers, your patent leathers, your beads and buckles and bows, for there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes.
Come on, Barnaby, we're going to New York. Elevated trains, Barnaby, the lights of Broadway.
Holy caboose,
The stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
wow!
Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Just down the street and have your picture took. Just like a dream, your spirit seems to turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you look. Beneath your parasol, the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your feathers, your patent leathers, your beads and buckles and bows, for there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes. Beneath your bowler brim, the world's a simple song, a lovely lilt that makes you tilt your nose. Get out your slickers, your flannel knickers, your red suspenders and hose, for there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes.
Ermengarde, stop sniveling. traveling. Don't cry on the valises. We haven't missed the train yet, thank the Lord. Lovely, you're improving. Now get all 11 pieces. We're 7 minutes late. All aboard!
All aboard, all aboard. Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Put on your silk cravat and patent shoes, for I can feel adventure in the evening air. To town we'll trot to a smoky spot where the girls are hot as a fuse. Put on your high silk hat and at the turn of love, we'll wear a handmade gray suede button glove. We'll join the Astors and Tony Pastors and this I'm positive that we won't come home, that we won't come home, that we won't come home until we fall in love. Put on your high silk hat and at the turn of love, we'll wear a handmade gray suede button glove. We'll join the Astors and Tony Pastors and this I'm positive that we won't come home, that we won't come home, that we won't come home until we fall in love.
Excuse me. Oh dear. Oh my, would you look at that? It's 10 o'clock and the shop's not open yet. It's all because of that impending marriage, I tell you. What marriage? Oh, I thought you knew! Why, the marriage, Mrs. Levi, is ranging between the well-known Yonkers half-a-millionaire, Mr. Horace Van de Gelder, and my dear employer and friend, Mrs. Irene Malloy. Although, if you ask me, he'll never be able to replace her late husband, Mr. Peter Malloy. May he rest in peace wherever he is. Oh, I'm not sure. He was a caution, you know. Oh, it's all too much, what with late husbands and new marriages, and on top of everything else, Miss Mortimer returning this hat for the 3rd time. Same old story, she wants more cherries and bettas, cherries and bettas. To catch a beau, I suppose, although if you ask me, she'd do much better with a nice heavy veil. I told her we'd be wearing ribbons down our back if we want to catch a gentleman's eye this summer, but she'd have none of it. Cherries and bettas, she wants. On today of all days, when that poor, dear, sweet Mrs. Malloy has had enough on her mind, what with...
With what, Minnie?
With the door! It's stuck.
It's stuck? Then push.
Mrs. Malloy, I could bite out my tongue for the things I've said and for the things I'm going to say, but as long as I've gone this far, I might as well go all the way. Mrs. Malloy, why?
Oh, say it, Minnie. Why have I decided to marry Horace Van de Gelder?
Oh, no, Mrs. Malloy, I did not ask you that. I would rather, die on the rack than ask you such a personal question, but as long as you did bring it up.
I'm marrying Horace Van de Gelder for one reason and one reason alone, Minnie. To get away from the millinery business. I hate packs.
Mrs. Malloy!
And I can no longer stand being suspected of being a wicked woman with nothing to show for it.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy!
Don't protest, Minnie. All millineresses are suspected of being wicked women. That's why I can't go into restaurants or balls or theaters. That's all the proof they need. Take my word for it, Minnie. Either I marry Horace Vandergelder or I break out of this place like a fire engine. Oh, not Miss Mortimer again.
Miss Mortimer, I'll take care of it.
No, Minnie. Leave it be. You can make another hat for Miss Mortimer if you like. I'm wearing this one myself.
Oh, no, Mrs. Malloy, you cannot wear that hat. You're a widow, and that hat, well, it's provocative. That's what.
Is it, Minnie?
Oh.
Well, who knows who might come into the shop today? And provocative may be just what I want to be.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy!
I'll be wearing ribbons down my back this summer. Blue and green and streaming in a yellow sky. So if someone special comes my way this summer, he might notice me passing by. And so I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, because a breeze might stir a rainbow up behind me that might happen to catch a gentleman's eye, and he might smile and take me by the hand this summer, making me recall how lovely love can be. And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my back, shining in my hair, that he might notice me. And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my back, shining in my hair, that he might notice me.
Mrs. Malloy, wild horses couldn't make me ask this next question, but Mrs. Malloy, do you love Horace Vandergelder?
No, Minnie, I don't. Peter Malloy, God rest him, was my share of love, and I'm not saying I was shortchanged. Once is enough for a woman, as long as it's true love, and it was that. Minnie, look. There's two men staring at the shop.
Men?
Why, I do believe they mean to come in here.
Oh, dear Mrs. Malloy, men in the shop, what shall we do?
Do? Why, flirt with them, of course. I'll give you the short one.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy, and you with all that talk about love.
Love enough I've had, Minnie. It's a bit of adventure I could do with now. We'll get them all heated up, and we'll drop them cold. It'll be good practice for married life. Now head into the workroom, Minnie. I know of a few ways we can perk up our appearances. Besides, a bit of a wait will only make them nervous and easier for us to...
If you say vampire, I'll scream.
Vampire. And so, I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, because 'cause a breeze might stir a rainbow up behind me that might happen to catch a gentleman's eye. Oh, Minnie, we'll get an adventure out of this yet.
We'll get an adventure out of this yet, Barnaby. All day long we wander around New York and nothing happens. Then we come to the quietest street in the city, and suddenly... Is he still out there? Go look.
He's sitting right on that bench. Cornelius, are you sure this is an adventure?
You don't have to ask, Barnaby. When you're in one, you'll know it, all right. How much money have we got left?
Not much, Cornelius. Woo. 40 cents for dinner, 30 cents for the train back, 20 cents to see the whale, 90 cents. Why?
When those women come out, we'll have to pretend to be customers. Customers, that's it. Maybe the best thing to do is make them think we're rich, then we won't have to spend anything. We're two men about town looking for hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy.
Cheer, Cornelius Hackle!
Cheer, Barnaby Tucker.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you?
We're
two hats,
broke
you
ladies
see, and we
counting
wanted to buy a lady
you know,
or two,
hat around.
maybe for...
We want a hat. A hat. For a lady, of course, and everybody said go to Mrs. Malloy's because she's so pretty. I mean, her hat's so pretty.
And so reasonable, Cornelius. It's reasonable, it's under $1. What's to leave us enough money to see the whale?
You gotta pay him no mind, ma'am. He's come all the way from Yonkers, New York to see the stuffed whale, and he's all excited. Just keep an eye on that street, Barnaby. Maybe you'll see it pass by.
Is it big and black with mean little red eyes?
Yes.
It's sitting right on that bench.
Excuse me, but did you say Yonkers, Mr. Hackle?
Oh, yes, ma'am, Yonkers. And forgive me for saying this, but you would love Yonkers. By that I mean, perhaps Mr. Malloy would love Yonkers, too.
Oh, I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
You are? Barnaby, she's a widow. Oh, I am so sorry. I'm sure Mr. Malloy would have enjoyed Yonkers, especially in that hat. On you, of course, not Mr. Malloy. May he rest in peace. You're a Catholic, aren't you? Well, if you're not, don't let them worry you. I'd be willing to change. Mrs. Malloy, if you should ever happen to have a Sunday free in the near future, I'd be more than pleased to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hackle, I might be there sooner than you think.
Oh, really?
You see, I have this friend who lives in Yonkers.
You do?
Perhaps you've heard of him.
Perhaps we do.
Although it's usually so foolish to ask in cases like that and say, Mr. Vandergelder?
Horace Vandergelder.
Oh, Vandergelder's hay and feed.
Do you know him?
No, of course not.
No,
No,
of
never,
course
no,
not.
never heard of him.
Mr. Vandergelder's a substantial man and well-liked, they tell me.
Lovely man, Mrs. Malloy, just lovely. As one fault as far as I'm concerned, he's tough as nails.
Cornelius, I think.
Now, perhaps your friend might like this.
Look out!
Begging your pardon, Mrs. Malloy.
Gentlemen, what are you doing?
Help us, Mrs. Malloy. We'll explain later.
Come out of there this instant!
We're as innocent as can be, Mrs. Malloy.
Well, really, Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, I insist that both of you come in there this instant or I will be forced to... Mr. Vandergelder!
Mrs. Malloy, I don't suppose Mrs. Levi's here, is she? She was supposed to meet me on that bench 10 minutes ago. Well, she can just go looking for me if she comes. When I make an appointment, I like people to be on time. Here. Here's a present for you. Chocolate-covered peanuts. Unshelled. That's the expensive kind. Did I just see you talking with two men?
Men? Men? Men, Mr. Vandergelder. What would two men be doing in a ladies' hat shop? Now, come with me to see my workroom. I've been so anxious for you to see
No,
it.
I saw it last week.
So you did. Well, Mr. Vandergelder, what is new in the hay and feed business? I hear you have 3 friends, all tough as nails.
Oh, what on earth are you talking about?
Yonkers. Mr. Vandergelder, I hear it's a very beautiful city.
And who's been telling you about Yonkers, may I ask?
Nobody. A friend.
What friend?
Well, you see, he...
He?
Customer. Mr. Vandergelder, someone quite well-to-do, as a matter of fact. He was in here buying hats for ladies. Perhaps you've heard of him, although it's usually so foolish to ask in cases like that. It's Mr. Cornelius Hackle?
Did you say how?
Why, yes.
Oh, he happens to be my head clerk, that's all, Mrs. Malloy. I demand an explanation.
And I'm going to give it to you. Why shouldn't you know Cornelius Hackle? Everyone in New York knows Cornelius Hackle. He's here at the opera and all the fashionable homes. Why, he's at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant 3 times a week.
Oh, impossible. He's only got $146.35, and I keep it in my own safe.
Mr. Vandergelter, you're killing me. He's one of the Hackles. They built the canal.
Oh, what canal?
The Erie. Panama. Both.
It ain't the same man.
Who took the horses out of Jenny Lynn's carriage and carried her through the streets? Cornelius Hackle. Who dressed up like a waiter at the Fifth Avenue Hotel and dropped an oyster down Mrs. Astor's? I can't say it. But it was Cornelius. He's the playboy of New York. Now, Irene, don't try to deny it. I can see that you were taken with him just like everybody else.
Dolly, what are you saying? I've only seen him once in my life. Really, Dolly.
Excuse me.
Of course.
Thank you.
Mrs. Malloy, there's a man in there!
Oh, now see here if there's a man in that closet.
Mr. Vandergelter, you can't. It's too dangerous.
No man that hides in ladies' closets can frighten me. Stand aside, Mrs. Levi.
No man indeed, Mr. Vandergelter. I'm sure you'd make short work of any man. Those muscles, I can feel them now rippling back and forth under your coat. Ripple, 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 back and forth.
For the last time, Mrs. Levi, will you stand aside?
Stand indeed, Mr. Vandergelter. That's exactly what the court is going to want to know when you're accused of entering that closet without a search warrant. I mean, what do you stand for if you don't stand for the law of this great land? I know what I stand for. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see him on the hill at Gettysburg, 'neath that great triumphal arch? If you see him as he's trampling through the grapes of wrath, stand up and march, march, march.
Has this not affected you, sir? I came to this great country at 14 years of age as an immigrant girl from a country that oppressed my people, and I echo here today the words stated by that great and patriotic American,
Moses.
I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. There's a tear-stained eagle passing. Do you see him on the bridge at Waterloo? Neath that great triumphal arch. You hear him singing Dixie in the sugar cane. Stand up and march, march, march. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans.
I regret there have one life to give Betsy Ross's flag is passing. In the words of Lincoln, one is by land, two are by sea. Yes, that I chopped the cherry tree down. Oh, Stonewall Jackson, glory, glory on that name. So yeah, stand up and march, march.
7 years ago.
March, march, march.
To form a more perfect union.
March, march. Damn the torpedoes. Full speed ahead. March, march, march. So you see, Mr. Vandergelder, there couldn't possibly be a man in that closet. God bless you.
Mrs. Malloy.
All right, Mr. Vandergelder, there is a man in that cupboard.
Aha!
And another under the table.
Oh, what the devil?
And there happens to be a very simple explanation for all of this, but for the present, good afternoon.
Good Lord, the whole room's crawling with men. I'll never get over it. I take it I'll see you later this afternoon, Mr. Vandergelder.
Oh, you certainly will, Mrs. Levi, with a certain young lady on the main float at the end of the parade. Good day, Mrs. Malloy.
I can explain everything. You see,
I do not wish to hear any explanations, Mr. Hackle. Just you and Mr. Tucker will do me the pleasure of exiting my shop immediately, or I'll send for Officer Gogarty.
If you ask me, Irene, calling in officers letting them off too easy. The law courts. That's where they belong. I've been adding up the legal offenses these two have committed. Believe me, you've got grounds for at least 2 writs, a non-compos mentis, and a garnishee. Now the main thing is to show that you tried to handle it amicably first. Have dinner with them.
Dinner.
Is that absolutely necessary, Dolly?
It's the way things are done in the law, Irene. Dinner first, garnishee afterwards.
Delighted, Mrs. Malloy. I speak for Barnaby, too. Now I hear there's a very nice restaurant in the railroad station.
Oh no, Mr. Hackle. If the Harmonia Gardens is good enough for you and your fashionable friends, it's good enough for us. I hear there's a lovely orchestra there, Minnie.
We couldn't do that, Mrs. Malloy. It's not the money or anything. It's just, it's the whale. It's the whale. No, it's not the whale, Barnaby. It's the dancing. You see, they have dancing at places like that, exhibitions, even contests, and I don't know how, and it would take me weeks, months, years to learn. Mrs. Dolly Levi, 33-year-old chief clerk, taught how to dance.
Now, it's very simple. You put one arm here and the other arm here.
It's impossible. I have absolutely no sense of rhythm.
Absolutely no sense of rhythm is one of the primary requirements for learning by the Gallagher-Levi method. Just give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackle, and I'll have you dancing in the streets. We'll start with lesson 7, the waltz, kick, turn. It's simple. It goes right foot, touch, left foot, touch, under, back, around, release. Wonderful. When I think of the lucky women who'll find heaven in your arms. Let's go back to lesson 1. Put your hand on her waist and stand with her right in your left hand. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Wow, I'm dancing! Oh! At least I was.
Of course you are, Mr. Hackle. Take the someone whose arms you're in. Hold on to her tight and spin. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Wow, I'm dancing!
Turn around, try floating through the air. Can't you be a little more aesthetic?
Don't you think my dancing has a polish and a flair?
Word I think I'd use is athletic.
Well, my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that I'm dancing, who cares if I'll ever stop? Look at me, everybody, look! I'm Cornelius Hackle Sport and dancing!
You're next, Mr. Tucker. Glide and step, and then step, and glide.
And everyone, stand aside.
He's dancing!
You could learn to polka if you worked a week or so, or the tango filled with passion seething.
I might join the chorus of the Castle Garden show.
Whatever you do, for gosh sakes, keep breathing. For my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
When there's someone you hardly know and wish you were closer to, remember that he can be near to you while you're dancing. Though you've only just said hello, he's suddenly someone who can make all your daydreams appear to you while you're dancing. Make them use
spirit will hit the top. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
Well, look who it is, Mrs. Levi. How are you, Mrs. Levi?
How are you, Mrs. Rose?
The same. Pains in my back, aches in my side, stabs in my liver. I'm fine. My daughter Fanny got married, you know.
Did she?
A year ago, last September. It's been such a long time since you lived here, Mrs. Levi. Such a long, long time.
Ephraim, let me go. It's been long enough, Ephraim. Every evening for all these years, I've let the cat out, locked the door, made myself a little rum toddy, and before I went to bed, I said a prayer. Thanking God that I was independent, that no one else's life was mixed up with mine. Then one night an oak leaf fell out of my Bible. Put it there when you asked me to marry you, Ephraim. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without color and without life. And suddenly I realized that I was like that oak leaf. For years, I had not shed one tear, nor had I been filled with the wonderful hope that something or other might turn out well. So I've decided to rejoin the human race. And Ephraim, I want you to give me away. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get in step while there's still time left. Before the parade passes by.
Mrs. Levi, come along. Cornelius is taking us all to see the 14th Street Parade. Everybody will be marching.
Wait, Irene, you're crying.
Oh, Dolly. The world is full of wonderful things. Come with us, Dolly.
I will, Irene. I will. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out in front. I've had enough of just passing by life. With the rest of them, with the best of them, I can hold my head up high. For I've got a goal again, I've got to drive again. I'm gonna feel my heart coming alive again. Before the parade passes by. Look at that crowd up ahead. Listen and hear that brass harmony growing. Look at that crowd up ahead. Pardon me if my old spirit is showing. All of those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm going. When the whistles blow and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an old baton. Before the parade passes by.
When the parade passes by, listen and hear that brass harmony droning. When the parade passes by, pardon me if my old spirit is showing. All of those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm going. When the whistles blow and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an old baton. Before the parade passes by.
Mrs. Levi, she's beautiful. Everything you said and more. Oh, don't move, Miss Money, I'm coming, I'm on the way. Hey, stop that! Thief, put that back, you! That's my fiance! I paid for that gold and I want all the parts! Oh, Miss Money, what have they done to you? Oh, Mrs. Levi, what is the meaning of this?
Nothing to get upset about, Mr. Vandergelder. A last-minute substitution. Miss Money had a sudden, urgent business meeting at the Mint. They were running a little low, and she's helping out, but she will meet you at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant at 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh, that's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
Which is why I'm glad you suggested it. Such food. And the waiters, they say they're the fastest in New York. By the way, I might be a little late tonight, so Miss Money will meet you out front. Oh, but wait till you see her, Horace. All dressed in buttercup yellow with baby pink trim, singing an old folk tune. Yes, sweet Rosie O'Grady. Can't miss her.
I'll be there, Dolly. But only because I already paid for the introduction and I might as well get my money's worth. But from here on, you are hereby discharged as my marriage broker. Is that clear? From now on, Bella Gallagher, you're just a woman like anyone else. Wait, where